we got today? I don't think I know how to buy nice new things. I just have to buy broken stuff and fix it because it's cheap, and I'm cheap. But anyways, we have this is a Porter cable, 135 PSI compressor. And how many gallons is it? 4 gallons. So not enough to really run any really nice pneumatic tools, but enough to blow off the workbench and blow myself off after a dusty day in the garage. This was quote unquote given to me. This was the old compressor we used to use for business. Back in college, I worked for a construction company, for a family construction company. This was our old compressor we used for the nail guns. It's 2 valves, a pressure regulator, and it still works. The motor works fine. It holds air back here. There's nothing leaking in the tanks, but when you plug it in, it leaks around the valve. So luckily, all of these use a very common valve. This one, DeWalt, so Porter Cable, DeWalt, Milwaukee, and one other company all use the same valve mechanism, so you can repurchase the parts and fix it. So I got this from family because my grandfather didn't want it anymore, or basically was sitting in his shed for the last 10 years and 30, probably 8 years it's been sitting in the shed because it leaks. He's never fixed it, so I grabbed it one day when I was over there, and I'm going to fix it and use it to air up the car tires, dust myself off, things like that, small stuff. So here's the parts. I'm going to bring you guys in and I guess show you how to repair it and hope to hell that it works. So let's go for it. Alright, first thing we're going to do is empty the pressure out so we don't have to worry about there being any pressure in it. And I turned it off, unplugged it, and I don't believe there's hardly any. Yeah, there's no pressure in this, so we don't have to worry about that. And we're going to take, you can take this whole thing apart, and I did that earlier to check to make sure none of these were leaking. Found out it was only this, so we're going to take this apart using, let's see, what do we have? What do we have? A large pair of pliers, something, anything. Where are my good pliers at? Jump cut to me getting good pliers. Alright, we're back. Finally found my pliers. So first thing we're going to do is take the plastic washer off that I loosened up. And it should unscrew and come off. Pull the cap off. Now this whole thing, let me tighten this up one notch, should unscrew like that. And the plastic parts, we're going to retain this housing, the screw, the nut, the cap, but we're going to put it aside for now because we're going to rebuild the innards. Next up, on the back side, there is an Allen key slot that looks something like that. It's on the back side of that valve, so I'm going to go ahead and I can twist it off. We're going to want to retain all the parts just the way they come out. And I'm going to put this down and move over so I can show you how the parts came out and how to put them back in. So here are the parts. Compressor is pretty much done at this point. We don't need anything else off of it, so I'm going to set this on the ground and bring you guys closer so you can see the parts in the rebuild. Oh, I never stopped recording, so we're going to continue. Here are your parts. Let's open up our part bag with the replacement gubbins. This goes to the side, that goes to the side. Here's your instructions and how it fits together if you need that. A little bit of silicone grease and your bag of parts. So let's start with this part here, this valve. Let me open this up. That goes back there, that goes here, and a bunch of crap comes out. All right, so very similarly, should look very similar to that one. What we're gonna do is take our spring. The spring goes on the bottom here with the little valve facing up. That's gonna go inside, and then your O-ring will seat down over the side of it. They say that you should put a little bit of lubricant. Let me see if I can get this open without eating half of it. They say you should put a little bit of lubricant on the threads, and it probably wouldn't hurt to lube the O-rings as well. It's not gonna kill them. a little bit of grease as this comes apart. There we go, take that little bit of grease. And a well-greased O-ring isn't a bad thing. Grease this one up here a little bit too. There we go. So that, you can see, is a direct replacement now. This is garbage. Put that aside. Next up, we are going to replace the innards of this. And it's pretty simple. You see the top part came off. That's now junk. The new one, I'm going to put a little bit of oil around it, a little bit of that grease on this seal as well. All the way around. And this will seat back in there, so the part that goes in, if this comes apart, I'll show you how it all comes apart in case you have to put it back together. That is your valve open and close. The square is going to go towards the inside and down, and it should eventually, if I can get it, will come out the back like that. Next up, your spring will go in, and then your new part will go in where it fits into the spring, and the flat side goes up or down, however you're looking at it. Push it in and you're good. Those are done, ready to go. We have one more thing we need to put in. I'm going to grease this up a little bit. This is going to go, this O-ring here, excuse me, that O-ring there is going to go into the compressor on the front side, and then we're going to put it all back together and see if it doesn't leak. And we're going to hope and cross our fingers that we have a fix. All right, so inside there, let me grab something. We're going to need to pull that O-ring out from the inside. And I don't know if I have a pick handy. Let's see, a little screwdriver will do it. So you can see this O-ring in here will be coming out. That will come out. We will grab our new one, which, excuse me for a second. Here's our new one. New one will go in. Just like that. Grab our, make sure you're back in focus. So the rear section here is going to go in just like that, facing this way. So it'll go in through the back and up, and it is spring loaded, so you're going to have to put a little bit of pressure on it while you tighten it down. And I'm going to grab the pliers on the other side, going back around the camera, see if I can snug this thing in. Snug it down, snug it down, snug it down. Almost there. Make it nice and tight. You don't want any air leaking. There we go, good and snug. We're gonna take our other part. Oh, sorry guys, one more time. Just like this, it's gonna screw into here. Just the way it came out. Open our wrench up. Tighten this down. And I wouldn't over tighten this. It's just, it looks like some sort of plastic, nylon, something. So it's probably not gonna have super high strength. So tighten it down to where it's snug. Good. We're going to reach back across, you guys. We're gonna take our lock ring. Lock ring will hold this against the metal frame here. The lock ring needs to go on. Hopefully I didn't cross thread that. I don't think I did. Well, I may have cross threaded that. It'll continue to work though. Take your cap, snap it in place, and there's a square drive on the inside of this cap, so it'll fit on one of obviously 4 ways. That's it. And let's test it. Let's see if it still leaks. See if it's leaking. And no hiss on the valve. We are good. Oh, that air feels good. I can dust myself off. Can blow off the tools and the workbench. No longer leaking. Now we can leave it plugged in. Without it leaking, we won't have to worry about it charging up every... Before it was trying to charge every, 2 minutes, it felt like. It was really often. Now we should be able to leave it just like this and it won't charge up. Should be good. All right, there you go. If you guys like this type of content, let me know, give me a thumbs up. This is some weird stuff. I typically work on guns. If you came here to the channel for this specifically, welcome. I typically do gun videos. If you want, you can like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up is a big thing, but that's pretty much it. I hope you guys, if you have something similar to this, it's like 20 bucks. Don't buy a new one, just fix it. It's really simple. All right, see you guys.